Hey guys, it's JC. I am here today to talk about intuitive eating, which is actually something I love and have talked a lot about and recommended books about. But I went to the library this week and I found a book on the shelf that it was about intuitive eating and mindfulness. And I thought, oh, cool. Like, I am going to dive into this. Brought it home and it didn't take very long. A good, 5-10 minutes in, I was like, oh, wait, no. I have some opinions on this and they don't always align. So we're going to talk about a faith-based approach, a faith-based lens to look at this beautiful, needful, good topic of intuitive eating. It's out there. There's a lot of voices talking about it. But there's not a lot of Christ-centered perspectives, and I want to be one. So that's what we're doing. Just a quick couple of points I wanted to share. So number one is the reason I love intuitive eating for a faith-based perspective is because if you think about it, God did create our bodies to be very intuitive with food. Very intuitive. They are built when they're in a healthy state, not when they're in a disordered, addicted state. But when they're in a healthy state, they are built to intuitively tell us when we're hungry, when we're full, what we're craving, what our body needs, how much is too much, all of the things. Our body has its own way of communicating with us, and it comes through that intuitive sense. You know what? I've had enough, or no, that food makes me sick. My body is telling me through symptoms, through different ways. So absolutely, intuitive eating is a beautiful, I believe, God-based idea that we need to get back to listening to our bodies instead of programming and all these rules and diets and things that we've been forcing our bodies to do because we think that's in our brains. We think, oh no, this is the diet. So we force our body to obey the rules when actually intuitively it's trying to tell us what it needs. And that's how he's created it to be. So that's why I love it. Here's the thing. The number one issue I have with kind of the worldly philosophy of intuitive eating as it is I am hearing, it was in that book, I've seen it in lots of websites, lots of influencers that say, okay, when you start to intuitive eat, the idea is all food is good. All food is good. Let's just get away from the diet culture and just stop all the rules, which again, I agree with. The diet culture is toxic and has wrecked so many of us when it comes to food. So I understand why the intuitive eating culture is saying, throw out the diet culture, throw out the rules. Let's just take it back to, don't worry about the rules. Just eat what you feel like you intuitively are craving that day. And I've heard the scripture shared to promote this idea. From Matthew 15:11, which talks about, I want to get it right, not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth. And people take that to mean food. There is no food that can defile you. It says it in scripture. But Jesus had a very different concept of food in his world. No, he ate completely whole God-made food. There was no other thing to have. So all he had was meat, fresh, whole, local, organically sourced produce, all the things. Food in his day could not defile you. I mean, it was not what we try to call food today. So I think we're stretching it when we take that scripture and try to apply it to everything on the grocery shelves that exists in our world today. I don't know that a lot of what we call food has been so changed and stripped of its God-made nutrients that I don't think we can freely say there's no bad food. There's no food that will harm you. That's old diet culture. That's where I part with intuitive eating and the main reason is because I have spent several years in a wellness clinic. And I was the one interviewing people, taking their histories, asking them questions about their lifestyle and their eating. And then also a list of all their symptoms that they were dealing with and the medications they were on. And I can tell you emphatically, just through my experience, I could tell you how somebody eats by the list of symptoms and problems their body was having. There was always a correlation When people came in and was like, no, I don't really, and then I'd ask them about their diet, clean, whole food, not a lot of sugar. I've seen it over and over and over. The science is showing that when we alter food the way God originally created, when we alter it, and we are doing that on a massive scale in our science labs and in our factories and our food companies, the body was not made intuitively to handle that the way it would God made food. God created food in a way that our body can process it. It has everything it needs to metabolize and synthesize those nutrients into the body for what it needs to do. But if you, I don't know, if you look at Dr. Pepper or Cheetos or like Krispy Kremes, I'm sorry, but the nutrients have been stripped. That is not in a state of whole food. So again, I have a major problem when we say in intuitive eating, there is no good and bad food. I think it comes down to what you define as food, really. So, let me just wrap all my rambling to say, absolutely, I believe key in getting back to the basics of listening to our body, to letting the Lord help us heal it so that we can intuitively eat in a way that is honoring to our temple, to this God-created body. But I also believe, and I've done other videos on this, and I'll link them below, that God is very comfortable with us setting boundaries. They aren't diet rules. They're not diet culture. It's boundaries for what will best honor my body. My body is wrecked by sugar. I've tested it again and again. My daughter is wrecked by dairy. Not me, but she is. Again and again, she's tested it. And I was like, Mom, I just don't do well with it. That's where the intuition comes in, is allowing ourselves, with God's help, as we're prayerful about our diets and we are intuitive with what we're eating. We set boundaries where he helps us see that, no, that thing, not good for your body. That will defile you. It will wreck you. And you can tell by your body's communication, the body feedback that you're getting when you eat it. The depression, the anxiety, I mean, the fatigue, oh gosh, I could go on and on. You know what I mean? The gastrointestinal stuff, bloating, all of that. Skin rashes, brain fog, like the body is trying to tell us when it needs better gas. And so that's why I want to say so loudly and clearly, I love intuitive eating. I love the 10 steps, but I have major issues with a few points. And if we're going to take a faith-based approach, we can't get too locked into some of this dogma. Because some of it, I think, needs to be a little tweaked as we go on our journey, because we have to give God the space to communicate to us as we develop our new normal with food in a new healing place. He's going to probably set some boundaries. And in our world, with what masquerades as food, if we're not careful, it can look like a diet, but it's not. It's a respectful way of treating our body and honoring the way he created it and the kind of fuel he created it to need. I can't just eat Krispy Kremes all day and say, this is what my body intuitively is asking for. No, maybe it's in a state of addiction and it needs to be healed so that you can truly intuitively eat. I hope that I communicated that right. Now I'm kind of wondering if I was a little too passionate. I will recommend and put links below for my favorite intuitive eating books. Not the one I checked out from the library, but I will put some resources. I think going through that with the Spirit as our guide and gleaning from the intuitive eating culture, what will be helpful in getting us away from toxic dieting? Absolutely. But let's just remember that ultimately he created our bodies to run on food he made. Food as he created it in its whole state. Doesn't mean you never cook it or anything, but you know what I mean. Not processed, not refined, not stripped of all its nutrients, and then we enrich it and throw some vitamins back in to say it's still good. Our food system is messed up. And so if we truly want the energy, the brain clarity, the capacity to live fully, that's going to take some respect for his food system and our bodies the way he created them. It reminds me of 1 Corinthians 10:31, where whether you eat or whether you drink, you do it all to the glory of God. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make in this. I hope we did. But until next time, I hope that helps. Have a great week.